Hi friends, it's Shay from Shay's Kitchen. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Today we have another Cooking with Granny. If you have not already seen, I posted a video earlier this week of my grandmother cooking peach cobbler, and it's a homemade, like old-fashioned type peach cobbler. If you have not seen that, I would highly recommend that you go check that one out. I'll go ahead and link that one up here, so just hit the or just tap the little eye there. But we did a lot of cooking over the weekend for the graduation, so I was able to capture her cooking quite a few things. So today I am going to be showing you, like you haven't already seen it, but today I'm showing you sweet potato pie. Now, just before we jump into the video, in my family, and I would say, maybe I shouldn't go as far as to say this, so I'll just keep that. But in my family, we did not grow up on pumpkin pies. We grew up on sweet potato pies. So it is one of those things that I've learned to cook over the years. I learned from my grandmother, and then I also learned from my mother. Now, they do their sweet potato pies completely different. I know how to cook it the way that my mom has shown me to cook it. And I have seen my grandmother cook it numerous times, but I've never actually made it her way. So today I was able to capture her cooking it and have a keepsake for anyone else in the family who is also looking to make this pie. So without me rambling, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in and show you guys the process. But before, let me go ahead and mention, I did have to do a lot of voiceover because there was music playing in the background and I didn't want any copyright issues. So forgive me. I did try to still add in the comments that she was making while we were cooking it. So forgive me if I missed something, but I did my best, and I really hope you guys enjoy it because I know I definitely did. But these sweet potato pies are about to be off the chain, guys. So Granny boils her sweet potatoes, which I do not do. So this is another different thing that I do differently with my mom, or from my mom. Granny boils hers, and so I feel like this is gonna be a little too small of a pan, so I might switch this out for her. It's fine? Are you sure?
It's fine.
Okay, so we're gonna go with it, and we're just gonna boil these until they're fork tender all the way through, correct? All right, so Granny drained the potatoes, and we just stuck a fork in the potatoes on the top to make sure that they were fork tender all the way through. So now she's just running cold water to kind of help them cool off, because she's going to peel the potatoes while they're hot. It's just easier to take the skin off. So that's the next step. So she has 4 sticks of butter, and she's just taking those out of the package and into the mixing bowl. This is just the largest mixing bowl, or one of the largest mixing bowls that I have. So she's just going to peel these potatoes, and I think she's just going to immediately drop them over in the bowl, and they'll be ready to go through with a hand smasher or a hand blender. I'm not sure what she's going to do. We'll find out. But this, obviously, this heat will help melt the butter. Granny's dripping water.
Okay.
The heat will help melt the butter, but that is room temperature butter, guys. So unfortunately, guys, I had to actually go ahead and dim that background music because of the song playing. But what she is doing right here is she's just peeling the sweet potato, and what she is explaining is when you boil the sweet potatoes, that there's actually 2 films, or 2 skins, as she's saying. There's an outer skin and an inner skin, and what is most important is that you remove both the inner and the outer. Now, I can tell you this is something that I learned, because when I bake my sweet potatoes, I typically don't boil them. They just, I don't know, I feel like you boil some of the flavor away, but this is the way Granny does it. When you bake the sweet potatoes, you can't tell an inner and outer skin. It's just one skin that you pull off very easily. But here you have to make sure that you get both, as well as any of those black eyes that are deeper down into some of that flesh. So just take your time and get those out. Now, pay attention here, guys. You see how hot that sweet potato is? Please, please, please. Everybody's fingernails and hands are not conditioned like my granny's, including mine. I cannot handle a sweet potato in my hand like this. So by all means, allow your sweet potatoes to cool completely, to touch before you start handling them. Otherwise, you'll have second and third degree burns all over your fingernails, and that's just not pretty at all. So take your time. Take your time, please, please, please. So basically, she's just going through and peeling all of these, and like I said previously, she's just immediately putting them over into the butter. All right, so Granny has peeled all the potatoes. Now she just has a potato smasher, and she's going in and just getting all of the potatoes smashed very well.
And butter.
And the butter, which was at the bottom, that has obviously melted because it's really, really hot in the bowl. But it's obviously being incorporated and mixed in as she smashes the sweet potatoes. So what else do you need? So I can get you...
I need eggs.
Okay, you need eggs. How many?
6.
Okay, about 6 eggs.
6.
And you need me to bring over the
shells, the pie shells.
The pie shells, yes. And you need the milk and the nutmeg. You need a blender?
Blender, yeah.
Okay. All right, so Granny said she needed some eggs. So she did use 6 eggs. And what she does, and again, this is another thing that I learned because I do mine differently. She breaks her eggs up and she takes her time to pull out that little white portion that is attached to each yolk. I'm gonna tell you guys, I never do this because this fishing trip right here just makes my nerves bad. It takes too long. You do not know how long it took her to fish these out. So this is an option that you have if you want to take the time to do it. Otherwise, by the time you hit it with the blender, guess what? You won't be able to find these little white things and you will never know that they existed. So just go ahead and blend it up, and you want to just make sure that it's blended well, and it takes about a minute or so to do so.
Mix it. This fixes strings out of the potatoes.
All right, so now she's going in with the hand mixer, and this is just to get rid of, ooh boy, this is just to get rid of the strings that come along with the sweet potatoes. If you've ever baked or boiled the sweet potatoes. And sorry guys, I'm getting splashed right now with sweet potato puree. So we're gonna just... So the next step is to add your blended eggs to your sweet potato mixture here. Now I tend to add mine at the end because I'm just like really, really funny about tasting my batter while the eggs are there. So she adds hers in right away, and then she blends it again. And this is just a picture of the strings that come along with sweet potatoes. If you boil them or if you bake them, they are always there. And it is always good practice to either use a hand blender or a stand mixer to basically retrieve these pieces of string that get attached to the blending attachments. And you just pull them off and wipe them off so you don't end up eating them. Now, next she is actually measuring out, or her way of measuring out the sugar. Guys, again, I cannot tell you how much sugar she added. I'm going to guess and say about 3 to 3.5 cups of sugar. And she basically just eyeballed it. She put it in probably about 2.5 to 3 cups first. And then we proceeded to mix it after adding some nutmeg, and then we went back and tasted. So essentially it's just the cook's way. You add until it tastes right. Nothing is measured pre-hand. You just go with the flow until you taste the batter and it tastes exactly the way that you want. So she said a teaspoon of nutmeg, but obviously you can see this is not a teaspoon of nutmeg. I would say overall, after everything was done, she added maybe about 2.5 teaspoons of nutmeg. She said she wasn't going to add any more, but then later on you'll see she did actually come back and add a little bit more nutmeg. Now I would say she's adding total about 3 teaspoons, maybe 4 teaspoons of imitation and real vanilla flavoring. Now I only had a little bit of vanilla flavoring. That's why we went in with the imitation, but by all means, please add the real stuff. we just had to kind of improvise with what I had. So once you get everything added to your batter, just continue to go ahead and mix this in. Take your time. Make sure you get all the way in at the bottom, all the way around the sides. You can use a stand mixer if you like, but just fully incorporate those ingredients. Now we have 6 pie shells, and I would say on average 1 medium to large sweet potato will make 1 pie. So we had about 6 to 7 sweet potatoes, medium large sweet potatoes, and we got 6 pies. So she basically fills it up, and you want to leave about 1/4 of an inch from the top of the pie shell, because these pies will rise, and you don't want them to rise and then bubble over into your oven. So I was asking her here, sorry I had to mute it again, but I was asking her why she holds 1 pie in her hand instead of just pouring it like in each individual pie while it's on the countertop. And basically she said this is the bakery way, this is the way they did it in the bakery, and I guess this is the way that they had the highest efficiency, so this is the way she's accustomed to do it. But you can do it any way that you so choose, just do not fill them all the way to the top. So we're just gonna finish filling these up. We have 6 pies. We have an extra one, so if we have any batter left, then we'll have 7 pies. But we're gonna bake this on 355 degrees. And about how long does it take, Granny?
It's gonna be an hour and 40 minutes or 45 minutes.
An hour and 40 minutes.
Slow. Make sure they're done.
Okay.
They're gonna rise, and then they're gonna begin to brown.
Rise and then begin to brown.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
Nearly 2 hours.
Okay. Well, we're just going to go ahead and finish up here and put them in the oven. And the next time you guys see these pies, they'll be ready to cut and serve. So they're ready, guys. Now we just have to get them out of the oven and let them cool. All right, so half of the pies are done. And they look delicious. Now they just have to cool before they can be cut, which is gonna be the hard part, because everybody's gonna want to tear into these, but they gotta cool before we cut them. So guys, that is the process. Looking at it, it doesn't seem that hard, at least to me. You guys leave a comment and let me know if you think the process is hard, but it is a cook's way. I'm so sorry, I don't have any exact measurements. I would almost try to put like a semi recipe in the description below, but honestly, I don't even know if that would actually, if that would do it any justice, because honestly, I don't even follow a recipe when I make them, because it is really like a taste bud type of thing. You make it, you taste it, and you keep going until it's right. So, that just is kind of a cook's way. But if you guys want any tips, any additional tips, please ask away, and I will definitely try my best to guide you as much as I possibly can. But honestly, it is as she made it. If you just write down the steps, or maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just write down the steps on the process, like what goes first, what comes second, what goes third, and maybe that will help you guys. So that's what I'll do down in the description. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. Definitely leave me any comments down below in the subscription box. If you have not done so already, please take time to subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love it. I do try to focus on cooking meals throughout the week for, or I should say what's for dinner meals throughout the week for other working women who just may need some inspiration. I work outside of the home as well, so I know sometimes it is needed. And also hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I upload videos. And follow me over on my social media platform on Instagram at Shay's Country Kitchen. Well, until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.